Hello and welcome, YouTube. This is episode 2 of If You Don't Know, Get to Know, where we talk all things life and football. And I have got one incredible guest. I'm still starstruck at this moment, and I hope I can formulate my words properly. It'll probably take me about 10 minutes to get into that. But we've got the man, the myth, the legend, someone I looked up to when I was growing up and imitated my game, especially when I started off as a striker. The myth, the legend, and I can't believe I'm saying this, on the Gooner Sulz channel, we have got Kevin Campbell. How you doing, man?
Hi, Gooner Sulz. I did say a month ago, didn't I? I'm very good, by the way. I did say a month ago about getting me on, and I reached back out to you and said, "What's happening? Where was my invite?" But no, I'm pleased to be on. I'm looking forward to it.
No, 100%. Thank you very much for coming on. Obviously, firstly, a lot of people know, obviously, I did say I'm going to be doing a charity month, and obviously I've got the Bring Hope Foundation, which Kevin Campbell represents. I've done a lot of research on it, and I do think they're doing some incredible work with medical care and obviously bringing humanity to people. So obviously, if you want to check it out, it is in the description. If you want to donate, or if you've got time to check it out and share it, obviously I've got a brand ambassador for it, and I'll let Kevin kind of explain a bit more about it.
Well, the Bring Hope Foundation is the Baker boys, Dr. Maravan Baker and his brothers. They were refugees, and he was one of the fortunate ones who got out from Iraq. And obviously, as far as they're concerned, giving back to not only refugees and displaced people, but doing the correct things around the world, and with whether it's medicine or clothing or shoes or utensils, plates and knives and forks. These people need help, and that's what it was. And football, obviously, there's a lot of young kids in these refugee camps, and we went over there and went to Iraq and went into the actual refugee camps, and there's pitches there. We brought football kits, boots. There's been a lot of good support over the years. So, it's something that takes on its own energy now. But obviously, anybody who is willing to donate anything, more than welcome to help out, because these young, there's adults and there's youngsters, and obviously, sport was the thing why I went out there for football, but it's any help, really.
No, 100%. That's why, obviously, I did want to start it off on the charity basis. Because, obviously, for me, I'm a Muslim as well, and obviously, my family are technically refugees in this country as well, coming from Pakistan and stuff, obviously taking refuge in England. So I do 100%, obviously, heart to heart get with that. And obviously, the next thing I wanted to do, I always like to bring a bit of advice to the youth. Obviously, what I wanted to do was off the pitch. You're working with a lot of cryptocurrency, and you're doing a lot of I believe it's called the football coin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the football app. So there's the football app.
Yeah.
And the currency within the app is the football coin.
Yeah, and that's some brilliant work. Obviously, people need to get onto cryptocurrency before it blows up. Why should they invest their money, which is kind of what I wanted to gauge from you?
Well, if I'm honest with you, Sulz, if they haven't got any money, it doesn't really matter, because the truth of it is, this is why I got involved. So a person who doesn't have the money to invest in crypto could just use the app and earn crypto.
Oh wow! Okay.
So the normal stuff you do on Twitter, everybody does on Twitter, etc., liking stuff, posting stuff, being in a chat room or whatever, they earn points that they convert into crypto. And over time, the ecosystem has already been built.
Yeah.
So there's already 500,000 people on there. And it's only going to get better, because, as you can imagine, not many people know about it. But the owners done that for a reason, because what they want to do is build the ecosystem first. Every team, there's chat rooms for every team on there. You get on there, you do the predictions, you make money, you play games on it. It's about 4 or 5 different platforms kind of concept into one. And you earn as you go. So the more people that get on it is the higher price the coin goes. And then when the adoption starts, people will be able to buy their Arsenal gear with it. They'll be able to buy their season ticket. You'll be able to do, and that's the way this crypto thing's going to go. So as you quite rightly said, people have to get into it now. Don't wait. Get on and earn your stuff. And I'll send you the link with the code so they can log in and stuff like that throughout the show. I'll send you that. But
Brilliant.
It's the way forward. It's the way things are going to go from now on.
100%. Look at how Bitcoin blew up. I mean, I remember someone going and buying a pizza worth nearly, what's it, like £2.5 million in today's inflation. Now, that better have tasted good. That better not have been a run off a, and then someone bought a meal deal.
That would have been gold. There had to be gold and diamonds on that pizza.
That pizza must have cooked our own pizza for me. It must have done, a lot more than just be a pizza. If that's how much it costs. But that's what I mean. Like it's such a weird and bizarre world with social media, with digital currencies, and how much money you can genuinely make, and people making it on foreign exchanges with other currencies. And it's becoming such a bizarre world where, like you said, obviously you do kind of need money. But say if you had £10 about nearly 10, 15 years ago and you put it into Bitcoins, you'd be a multi-millionaire today. And that's just how bizarre it is.
Well, you think, what is it, 10, 11, 12 years ago, if you invested £10 in Bitcoin, probably it was at the time 20 cents, right? And today, one Bitcoin is over $50,000 for one. I think the all-time high was about 60 something thousand. So you don't realize what's going on. These things have a life of their own. And remember, it's not even fully done yet. It's not even started yet. So mass adoption isn't even this. Listen, this is no financial advice, but I'm telling you, I've been around that space for quite a while. If you get in, I tell you, even if you don't put your money, start using the app and start making some money, because you know what? The only way is up with these things. The only way is up.
100%. I mean, we're on social media to make money, people. That's what life's about: making money, and then retiring and going to a private island. That's pretty much the life I want anyway.
Sulz, hold on a minute. You're making Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you're making them the money.
Yeah.
And this is the difference. You make them the money because you use it, you utilize it, you got your friends and you link with people. You make nothing. You expend all the energy and make nothing. On the football app, everybody wins because what you do and what you put on, people like it, and you get points for it, and points make the token, which is the prizes. So you're doing the same thing, but you're earning. It makes, to me, that's why I got involved, because for me, it's about giving back to fans. I'm a fan, first and foremost. I was a fan before I played football, and now I don't play football anymore. I'm a fan. Why shouldn't I be getting something for my input into Arsenal Football Club, and everybody, and interaction?
Exactly. Arsenal need to pay my therapy bill. At this rate,
Well, listen, Arsenal will put you through therapy after going through last night and last Saturday. I mean, we know it's never going to be easy, Sulz, and I'm sure we're going to cover all this. But for me, I would rather fans win as well, not just everything be taken away from the fan. So.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's a surprise from Gooner Gossip coming as well. Obviously, Kevin knows what's coming up. And obviously, let's kind of move it into the football realm. What I want to know, because obviously I wasn't even born when you started playing for Arsenal, but obviously I'm one of those who goes into the archives and watches back a lot of football. That's my passion. That's been since very young. I've been into football. I wanted to know your story and what did you do on the day when you found out that Arsenal Football Club wanted to sign you? How was that day? Do you remember it? Like, what did that feel like?
Well, it was after it was a game for South London schools, and the scout Fred Ricketts, who I knew, I'd seen him at quite a few games. He came up to me and he says, "We want you to come to Arsenal to train." And I was like, keeping a cool face on it, you know what I mean? But inside, I was like doing forward rolls and all that kind of thing. I was buzzing, and I said, "Okay," because I was training at Millwall, Chelsea, Charlton, most of the London clubs. I trained at because I just love football. But when Arsenal come knocking, it's totally different because obviously I'm a fan. So, I went there. I knew Michael Thomas because Michael Thomas was at the same school as me, but he's 3 years older than me. So I used to see Michael Thomas, and me and Michael Thomas used to leave school and go to Chelsea at times, and then obviously Arsenal. I see Michael Thomas go, so I used to go to Arsenal and stuff like that. So it was brilliant. Then you go and train and feel it out, see how you go. And then I remember after training, Pat Rice took the training, and an apprentice called Pat Dolan. And Vic Akers was also one of the trainers there, who was kitman for a number of years under Wenger. He was brilliant as well. So they had a really good team. And, produced, and they said to me, we want to sign you. And again, the forward rolls, the flips on the inside. And but I'm a minor, so if they give you the stuff, you have to take it home to your parent and parents or whatever. But I was obviously buzzing because, I went to my first game in 1977, and it was amazing. It was amazing to be able to say, I'm signing for Arsenal.
That's how I'm feeling right now. Literally, I just started this just to make content on Arsenal and football and just kind of air my thoughts instead of just screaming at a wall. And I thought, let me put my misery out there, and people can laugh at it. And obviously now that misery has turned into some incredible moments where I've made friends for life. I've interviewing the likes of ex-players and legends of the game, people who have gone there and done it. And that's how I feel as well. Just literally inside, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Am I dreaming, pinching myself? And that's the moment. And obviously you signing for Arsenal as well is probably similar, because this is what we dream of doing, being able to talk to footballers. And I want to thank you. And obviously there's so many people who are looking forward to this video and coming to watch it back. I've got so many questions, and I kind of want to get into one of them now, because I think this is one question I was going to ask you, but I got someone to send in, someone who's helped me through my journey, and I thought it's good to give back, so I'm going to play the video for you now.
Okay.
Big shout out to Super Kev and, of course, Super Sulz. So I'd say you get the same questions the whole time, and everybody always wants to know who's the best player that you've played with. What I want to know is, who's the best player you've either played with or maybe even trained with, but who's the best that you've seen and been around that never went on to make it, huge, never fulfilled the potential? So that's what I'd like to know.
So yeah, that's a very good question I wanted to ask as well, and that's Anthony from Republic of Arsenal, who's given me so many moments on YouTube as well. So I thought I'd bring people in to ask the questions as well.
Well, the crazy thing about what that question brings to the table is someone who someone who's dear to my heart. And it's not as if he didn't make it or he didn't do the business, but I truly believe he left Arsenal too early, and that was Dave Rocastle. David Rocastle had the skills of a Brazilian. He had the tenacity of any top midfield player. He was tough. He was committed to the club. He loved the football club, supported Arsenal. And he could do anything on a football pitch. Trust me, he could do anything on a football pitch. Sometimes in training, he was just like open-mouthed at the stuff he could do. And, sometimes it's not because of what the player does. It's because of maybe a little injuries or whatever. And I still remember the day George Graham, he got sold, and the squad weren't happy. But Dave Rocastle was just look at he was an incredible talent that should have stayed at Arsenal, being at the very top for a number of years, because the fans loved him, the boys loved him. But Sulz, one thing we do know, it's a business. This is sometimes the issue. He was incredibly talented. But again, Paul Gascoigne, he's done it. It's difficult to say players who have been so talented but haven't made it.
Yeah.
Because back then, you had to have all the attributes. It's not just about talent. You have to have the mentality to do it as well. So, Rocky had it all, but it was through injury why he didn't hit the heights.
Do you reckon he goes not with Arsenal fans, but do you think in general in football, do you think he goes underappreciated with a lot of fans because it's not one of the first names that we talk about? It's like the Henrys, your Bergkamps, your Perez's, your Adams. These are the first names that even if you ask like a United fan or a Liverpool fan or even abroad, if you went and asked someone, they wouldn't really be seeing Rocastle as one of their first memories of Arsenal.
Well, here's the funny thing, Sulz. Guys that are a bit older, everywhere we went, they pay big respect to Rocastle. All of them, up and even now, I've got a good pal, Red Nose John, big Liverpool fan, and him and his dad, who's no longer with us, his dad passed away. I think it was a week after Rocky, with the same thing, and he always told me that Rocastle, the Liverpool fans always respected Rocky, always, because the guy was incredible. So, I tend to find younger people, obviously, maybe don't know him as we do, as the older generation do. But let me tell you, Rocky had a lot of respect. But maybe he doesn't get the accolades that some of the other players get. But the ones who know him and the ones who have seen him and watched him, trust me, they know.
No, 100%. I mean, I've seen all the documentaries with, obviously recently with the Bukayo Saka with BT, and Ian Wright obviously has done many, obviously on the anniversary of his death and everything. And he was incredible. I mean, this is what I always say to people, like, if you think about what Messi is doing, and he's doing it today where there's a lot of protections of players, but when the likes of obviously yourself and Rocky, Ian Wright, and the likes were playing, there was less protection. It was a lot more rough. It was a lot more was given, should we say, in a sense of you could literally barge someone off the game.
A lot more physical.
And the pitches were not this pristine where you could dribble. They were like, your local parks where, they could be maintained, or you could be literally playing like, how do I play here? And that's the pitches you were playing on.
Well, you want to check out, I'll tell you what, there's one for you and all the people watching. Check out the baseball ground in the 80s. There was no grass. It was rolled mud.
Oh wow.
Check it out. Honestly, check it out. It was rolled mud. Seriously. It wasn't like it is now, the spectacle like it is now, where the pitches are pristine, like carpets. But the boys back then could perform on the mud patch. They really could perform.
Oh yeah, I see that now. That is terrible. Wow. No, that's what I mean. It's so crazy, because I think a lot of the sort of traditional players do go a little bit underrated because of how modern day everything's become. Oh yeah, let's video analyze this player. Why is this player not doing this? Why is the tactics like this? And it's become very, should I say, NFL? Like, we've got managers with tablets now.
Yeah. But you know what? For all of that, Sulz, for all of the tablets, for all of the computers, for all of the stats, people keep telling me the game has changed. The game hasn't changed. If you are not committed, if you are not willing to do the hard and the ugly stuff, you can't win. That's a fact. So you know, this one's in the red zone and that one's in the red. It's all believe you me, it's all nonsense. Because you know why, Sulz? If you're playing against a good opponent and you hit the red zone at 80 minutes and there's 10 minutes to go, what have you got to do? You've got to go through it.
Yeah.
So all this computing and listen, it's great and it helps in a certain way. Good players make managers. Good players get managers. Bad players get managers sacked. We know.
Now, yeah.
We've seen Arsenal with good players, committed players who do the ugly stuff well, and we win. But we've seen it now for 16 years. We cannot do it consistently. We can't.
100. We are literally inconsistent FC at the moment, and that's why I think 1 week you'll see Arsenal fans on the highest of the highs because we beat someone, and then recently we've got battered by Liverpool, and then
it's a roller coaster.
And I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world because it's like I don't know what I'm gonna get. I might have a hairline 1 week, the next week it's gone. You know, it's brilliant.
Listen, I tell you what, you know, I like that attitude, Sulz, because let me tell you something. There's a lot of fans who cannot take the pain. We've had years and years and years and years of success. We've won FA Cups, and people are downplaying the FA Cups, by the way. They're crazy. You start the season, there's 4 trophies you can win. If you can get some success, you take it. But people are saying, "No, it's just the FA Cup." No, the FA Cup is 1 of 4. And look how many teams are going for the 4 competitions. Nobody has a divine right to win anything. So
Exactly.
if you can win a trophy, listen, you take it. You take it.
100%. Even with myself, I was like, oh my God, we've done it again. And I think with Arsenal, right, the harder it is, the more likely we are to win something. That's just what I feel, because it's like we had City and then obviously potentially United or Chelsea to obviously happen to be Chelsea going through. And that was probably the hardest route to go through. Obviously, we had Wolves in that run. And we went and actually done it without all odds. And then Wenger did it as well like that, where he had City and then he had to go play Chelsea in the final. And obviously, got a question here, obviously, from someone saying, "I'm not convinced by Arteta, but I've always given props for winning the cup. An amazing competition to win. Some managers didn't even win the trophy in their future." What's your take on the current affairs of Arsenal?
Well, Sulz, this is what I will say. And people always say to me, "Oh, you back Arteta." Do you know what I back? I back the football club. Arteta is the manager. I know the football club have needed to change. They've needed to change things because the way it's going, and this is learning on the job and his inexperience, people have beat Arteta with that stick.
Yeah.
But we've had experienced managers previously who never got us into the Champions League. So do we keep doing the same things and not qualify for the Champions League? Or do we start to change it? That's what I back. I back the changes. I back the changing of the culture. I back the changing of that dressing room. I back giving younger players the opportunity. I back getting players who are more committed to that badge, because that badge is too heavy for some of these players to wear. Whether people are telling me Granit Xhaka's our best midfielder. Are you crazy? Granit Xhaka is not our best midfielder. Granit Xhaka is lucky to be at Arsenal as far as I'm concerned after what he done. And if it's up to me, Granit Xhaka would be a squad player, because he doesn't score goals. He doesn't create chances. What does he do? He's not athletic. So, and I'm not just zeroing on Granit Xhaka. We could go through the squad. I think we need probably 5 or 6 starters in there, you know, to raise that level, because the level we are not there. And when you take Aubameyang's goals away, Sulz, this is where we're at. We are a middle table team. People don't like to admit it. They don't like to, we're this, we're that. We are not. We're not.
Yeah. And I said this at the start of the season for my own sort of predictions, what I thought. For me, I think what happens is, because it's so results driven, we get so emotionally invested in, we're 10th, because that's tends to be a lot of the, not excuses, but the comments that a lot of the, call it Arteta out, or whatever you want to define them as, or that's their main argument against why we shouldn't have Arteta. But for me, I've always said I want to see a system. I want to see some forms of change at the club. And I do believe Arteta has brought that. Do you feel like what I wanted to ask, and a lot of people are kind of throwing out there's a disconnect with the players and the manager?
No, there ain't no disconnect. The disconnect is the players doing what the manager wants. Because the perfect game to take the snapshot of what Arteta wants is the West Ham game. For the first, 35 minutes, Arsenal didn't turn up. Then for the next 55 minutes or whatever, Arsenal blew West Ham away. You could see the pattern. You could see the way the team was playing. You can see everything knitting together. But people don't want to say yet because we don't see it consistently enough. So the manager knows what he wants. The manager trains that way. The players trained. The manager trains them that way. Yeah. The players train that way. When they cross the white line, it all goes out the window. What kind of the manager? It's driving the manager mad. But all the people who moan about Arteta, the club are going to do what's right for them. Whatever our opinions are. And we have opinion, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. A lot of people are not convinced. They're not going to be convinced until they see consistency. I get that. But you've got to allow him to change it to get the consistency. Because the way things are, they've never been consistent.
100%. And kind of a question here from Let's Talk Premier League. In your opinion, who do you think the best youngster at Arsenal yet to break through the first team? And on that as well, there's a lot of murmurs, should I say, at the minute, because nothing confirmed from the club, that Balogun is set to sign a long-term deal with Arsenal.
Well, I see it when I see it, I believe it.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I don't do, I don't follow the rumours. I think Balogun's a talented kid, but he's not started 2 first-team games.
Yeah.
So, you know, people are putting all this pressure on the young kid. Martinelli hasn't started 5 games back-to-back. They put so much pressure. You know, it's again, I like to speak straight and I like to speak down the line. People could have the fantasies of these young kids coming in and doing all the bit. No, they have to learn the game first. I remember when Eddie Nketiah was doing okay. Everyone was saying stick Nketiah, but he's not learned his trade yet. He went on loan and didn't even play much. He didn't play much. So again, how do these guys learn their trade, Sulz? It's either they get into the first team and do it like Saka has. And do you know what? For all these people who are against Arteta, nobody talks about the rise of Saka this season. Saka's been incredible this season under Arteta. But nobody says anything. Everyone just says, oh, we're 10th, with this, with that, with that. At the end of the day, we're not better than the majority of teams above us. We're not at this moment in time. So it's difficult.
One thing I think with my fan base anyway, because I'm kind of in an agreement, I believe, with the Martinelli situation, where people are like, why on earth isn't he playing? And I've always said, because Arteta's trying to mold him into a player that he feels fit for next season. I don't think it's to do with fitness anymore. Obviously, at the start, it may have been. But then as things have gone on, obviously Arteta's been talking about he needs to improve in this way. And I've always said I don't believe he lacks tactical discipline. I don't know what your thoughts specifically on Martinelli are.
I've just said it about Nketiah, and I'll say it about Martinelli. He's not played 5 back-to-back games in the Premier League, Sulz. He's not. Is he a talented player? 100%. Is he the future? 100%. Is he the finished product? No. Can he be trained and taught tactically and become more tactically aware? 100%. Because he is not a striker at the moment. Yeah. He's a left-sided winger, stroke forward. That's what he is. He's got incredible energy, which we know about, but he doesn't know the nuances. He doesn't understand the game as much. And I believe that's what Mikel Arteta is trying to get him up to speed on in the background, because I know they're doing extra work.
Oh, yeah, he's voluntarily doing finishing drills, I believe. That's what they came out and said. So there's a lot of background work. And this is what I mean. For me, I think, because I watch Barcelona play, and because even when I've been watching them since like 05, 06, and their player development was very crucial to the way that Pep Guardiola under Juan Laporta, the La Masia drive, obviously under Johan Cruyff, and that's what I'm seeing that Mikel Arteta's trying to bring in, is a sense of we need to nurture and develop these players, but not bring them in too soon, because Barcelona recently have been doing that, where players have been thrown into a situation which is dire. Let's be quite nice about it in a nice way. And both clubs are going through turmoil, where a lot of the fans have turned on the club, and there's not a good atmosphere, should we say, especially if the stadiums are open. And then to throw, let's say, a Miguel Aziz or a Balogun or let's say Martinelli, and they miss a couple, like let's say, for example, they started missing the way Lacazette did last night, or they weren't performing in games, they would have got turned on very quickly.
And this is the thing. People talk about, give them a goal, give them a goal. When they don't perform, they get destroyed. That's not right. That's not right for these youngsters. You have to give the youngsters the best chance to develop, and when they get in, they can perform. I know sometimes out the blue, one could go in and do it. We've seen Smith Rowe, be in and around it. Willock's been in and around it, but Smith Rowe's come in with Saka and done a good job. Martinelli done a good job against Chelsea. Great job against Chelsea. Yeah. Didn't do so well against West Brom or Brighton, should I say, because Aubameyang played up top and he was left, and Aubameyang tends to drift out and he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
This is all part of the learning. And is there talented players at Arsenal? 100%. There's some great talent coming through. But we can't put too much pressure on these kids. It's been unfair on Saka and Smith Rowe, to be honest. It's been unfair because the likes of Aubameyang and Lacazette and all these guys haven't turned up.
Yeah, that's the problem, and we've said it all season. When we're looking at the team, we're praising the youngsters, and the senior players are the ones who are getting a lot of, and rightfully so, obviously. But that obviously needs to change, and that's where my next question is going to come in. Obviously, Ryan Williams in the chat, very active with a lot of questions. Obviously, he's helped me out a lot in my journey, giving me a lot of confidence. And I think this is going to be one where it kind of ties into this, and I'm really intrigued how you would approach this.
Hello, Mr. Campbell. Ryan here. I just got one question for you. Now, if you was in charge of Arsenal right now as the manager, what would your starting 11 be and the system?
What are your thoughts on that one?
No, that's a decent question. For me, I'd play 4-4-2 because I want two strikers up top. I do. I've said Lacazette and Aubameyang, we've missed the trick. I've said it for years. We've missed the trick. Having two players up top, normally centre halves have one striker to mark. You get two strikers against two, 1v1, centre forward against centre halves. Then you go 4-4-2. Then you get the opportunity to really open up defenses and expose these centre halves who only know how to mark one player.
Yeah.
Then we could get that partnership going. At the minute, I'd have to go Leno. Although I think Leno ain't top quality. I'd go Cedric. David Luiz, obviously he's injured, but David Luiz, Gabriel Tierney. On the right side, I would go. Right side, I'd go Saka. Centre would have to be Partey and Xhaka at the moment. Left side would be. Who would it be on the left side? In fact, could go Pepe. Could go Pepe. I could go either way. I could put Pepe on the right and Saka on the left. They can change, don't matter. And I would go with Aubameyang and Lacazette at the top end of the pitch. But it has to be flexible enough that we can change if we need to.
Yeah.
Because you see, 4-4-2 isn't just 4-4-2. You could bring the wide players in. You could play Smith Rowe wide, for instance, and make him come in narrow. So he's like an extra centre midfielder. So he's picking the ball up and nobody's on him. So that's the way I would like to do it, because when you do it like that, everybody knows their roles.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, right, when we think about the Premier League, for example, the most successful formation has been 4-4-2, or the most used formation, obviously in a fluid way, where it can change. And that's the thing. Football has never been a static game. Formations change in game, but it's how you start and how you approach a game is the way I've always looked at. And 4-4-2 is actually one of the best ways to approach a modern day game, because what I feel that would happen is the two centre mids would drop in. Like you said, obviously, we'd have Xhaka and Partey. They drop in. Partey will given the license to become a box-to-box. Xhaka drops in deeper. Like you said, Xhaka's not the future solution, but for me, he's a prototype to what Arteta wants, in someone that can cover the left back. But we need a mobile Xhaka, is what I've always said. Yeah. And even if you look into that formation, because what Lacazette loves to do is drop back anyway. Like, he loves to be a deep-lying striker, which is why when we play the two as a middles, as like two central players, one drops back anyway into sort of a number 10, but is given the freedom to become a striker when needs to be as well. And that's why I do think it works.
So, Sulz, when Lacazette drops deeper, the formation turns into a 4-5-1.
Yeah.
And when Smith Rowe pushes on, and when Pepe pushes on, it's a 4-3-3. Again, people get caught up with systems and all the system. No, the systems are all flexible, but it's how the players do it, how the players play. Do they have the right attitude? Do they go out to compete? If you don't go out to compete, you got no chance. You got no chance.
And do you know, like, for me, right, I'm starting to see a mentality change under Arteta in a sense of how these players are reacting. Like, even if you take simply yesterday, for example, the only one that I was annoyed at after the game was Pepe, but I seen something in Bellerin which I've never seen before. The death stare he gave to a player who tried, the person who scored for Slavia, I've forgotten his name now, and he wanted to swap shirts. Yeah, him. He wanted to swap shirts with Bellerin, and Bellerin just gave him a death stare, like absolutely just looked into his soul and goes, "Are you for real right now, mate?" And but I seen in Gabriel Martinelli, who went in for a tackle and goes to the guy, "Get up, like just get up, mate. You're taking the piss now." And what like even with Xhaka just screaming at the players, he went absolutely berserk at that defense. Do you feel like there is a mentality change, or because I don't think it's consistent? I don't think we're consistently seeing it. But do you think there are signs of?
Yeah, there are some, and that's part of changing the culture. Changing the culture doesn't happen overnight. And one thing I will say, Sulz, and I'm sure you've seen the games, there's been games where We've been blown out before half-time. Do you remember those days? And a lot of people seem to forget those days where you get to half-time and it's like 3 or 4 Arsenal fans are leaving the stadium. They've turned the game off. West Ham was could have been won. But what happened? They rolled their sleeves up, they fought. And in the end, probably could have won it. West Ham could have won it, but Arsenal could have won it as well. So I'm not saying it's perfect because it isn't. And being 10th in the league hurts. Of course it hurt. I don't want Arsenal to be 10th in the league. But when you do take away Aubameyang's goals, we ain't great. We're not a great team. And it's going to take time.
Yeah, on that, and obviously with yourself being an attacking player, I guess it's going to be a difficult one to answer because I don't think there's one. I wouldn't say there's a right answer, but what's gone wrong with Aubameyang? Or I don't even know if I phrased that right, but I'm guessing what I'm trying to ask is, what do you think is the reasons why Aubameyang's form has been the way it has?
I don't know. I don't believe you me. I don't know because you signed a contract, you signed a thing. You should be happy.
Yeah,
Aubameyang's happy, and let's be honest. You know, you go into pre-season and he looks the part, and we beat Liverpool in the Community Shield, and I know people say, "Oh, it's nothing," but it's still something. You still got to beat them. You go into Fulham, and Fulham were weak at the time, and you know we look okay, and Aubameyang scores a goal. Nobody could have saw what's coming. Nobody. And here we are in April, and Aubameyang isn't in the high teens for goals. So really, you're looking at, okay, what is it, 8, 9, 10 goals that we miss? You add another 8, 9, 10 goals, that's another probably 7, 8, 9 points. You put another 7, 8, 9 points on where we are now, Sulz, and we jump in the league. But when you take those goals away, we haven't got listen, we've had chances to win games. We haven't taken our chances. And that's our problem. Our problem is if Aubameyang's not scoring, where are all our goals going to come from? And we're not Saka, I've got to say, Saka's been amazing. But Saka's missed some chances.
Yeah.
Smith Rowe's missed some chances. Lacazette's missed some chances. Aubameyang's missed a load of chances. You can't win if your strikers or your attacking players aren't scoring consistently. You can't get up there.
100%, I agree. That's why I said it's so difficult because there's so many like different contributing factors to what's happened to Aubameyang. Should we say
but let me just say this about Aubameyang as well. A lot of people, when Aubameyang's not scoring, a lot of people are saying he contributes nothing to the team. And I think Lacazette, as a number 9, is a better player, all-round player, because he brings other people. You see the dovetail with him and ESR and Saka. They dovetail perfectly. I think it was the West Brom game where you saw it really take shape. Chelsea torn apart, but that West Brom game, it really comes to the fore with ESR and Saka. But they can play that way, but when we don't score, this is our problem. When we don't score, so Aubameyang will probably be going on thinking, what have I done? Have I, walked under a ladder? Have I broken mirrors? What have I done? Because he's had chances and he's fluffed chances. But you see, when he came on yesterday, he looked hungry. He looked hungry.
Yeah.
That's
what I want to see. I want to see a hungry Aubameyang again.
That's right. That's the Aubameyang that I wanted to see after he turned up late for Spurs. And that was the first time I've seen it. And I need that Aubameyang to turn up. That's the Aubameyang we need, because that Aubameyang will bury this Slavia Prague team.
100%. A lot of people are thinking, obviously, the captain's armband is contributing to his drop-off form, or it may be with personal situations that obviously have arisen with his mother and everything. What are your kind of thoughts behind that? Because obviously people are saying it's a heavy burden upon him, and maybe we need to take that off him to alleviate the burden that he's carrying.
Yeah, the burden is always worse when things are going bad.
Yeah.
When things were going good, I didn't hear anybody say Aubameyang shouldn't be captain. You know, when he was lifting the FA Cup and dropping the base of it and all that, I didn't hear anybody say Aubameyang shouldn't be captain.
Yeah.
Now that things are not going so well, people question everything. It's just the way football is, Sulz. You know, and I get it. I understand. Look, he's our captain, and he is not a vocal captain like we've had in the past. He's not that type of leader. He leads in his own way. He led by being the goal scorer.
Yeah.
Now that the goals have kind of dried up and he's not performing to the best of his ability, which can happen, people question his leadership skills. As I say, he's not a Tony. He's not a Patrick Vieira. He's not that type. But
no.
I'm sure Mikel Arteta will do what he needs to do if he feels it's right come the summer.
Yeah, because I've always said, like, in the middle of the season, it's probably the worst thing to do is Aubameyang could take it in the right way, but then he could take it in the wrong way. And with the personality that Aubameyang has in the dressing room, it could destroy every ounce of team harmony we may have, because he might be like, well, what the hell? They've literally stripped me of the captaincy. He could go to Lacazette and be like, well, I'm not happy. And then Lacazette could be like, yeah, I'm not happy either. And it could destroy this sort of cohesion that we have in the dressing room.
Well, Arteta's already got the cancers out. He's cut the cancers out in January.
Yeah.
Brought in Odegaard, which many people haven't given him credit for. When Odegaard had the pick of teams to go to. But again, people have their own vision of what they want. For all the stick that Arteta gets, he doesn't get any credit for what he has done. Bringing Gabriel in, bringing Partey in. These guys could have gone to other clubs. Gabriel could have gone to Manchester United, could have gone to Napoli. But he chose Arsenal. No Champions League football. Partey is swapping being top of the league at Atletico Madrid, Champions League football, to come to Arsenal for the project. And if I'm not mistaken, for the last 10 years, everybody has seen we needed a centre-half and centre midfield player.
Yeah.
But and one summer, Arteta gets them in. But do you know what that does? That shines the light on the places that are weaker.
Yeah.
When you bring in these sort of players, it shows that look at our weak spots now. And one of our weak spots is we don't score enough goals, generate as a team. We rely too much on Aubameyang.
Yeah, and we've kind of falsely didn't want to tell ourselves that, because we knew that already. We knew without his goals, he's just about, I think, touching double figures in all competitions. And I've done a comparison a few months back. At this point last season, he would have been on about 20, 25 goals for the season, and this season he's on like 15 or something. If that, I think it's even less than that. And that's the shocking thing. It's about 10-ish goals.
So again, Sulz, you put 10 goals into the season.
Yeah.
And you're picking up, let's say you pick up 7 points. That's a lot of points when it's so tight.
Yeah, we'd be like fourth or something with that.
Be challenging. That's the difference, Sulz. We'll be challenging up there. But it's something we can't get back. We can't get that. That's gone now. But fans are saying tempt. You take 10 goals away from Arsenal, and this is where we are. It's painful, yeah, but it's the reality.
Yeah, no, It is hard, and that's why, like I said, like for me, this season was going to be a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a write-off because I don't want any season to be a write-off, but I wanted to see things. I wanted to see a system, an identity, and I wanted to see culture change, and that's things I'm seeing. So that's why I'm a little bit more not as reactionary as many fans, because for them it's all results. And on the Odegaard one as well, obviously I'm a very big advocate of La Liga. I've been watching it since 2005. This is where you're going to hate me, I think, Casey. I'm a Barcelona follower. We've got a big clash tomorrow, haven't we?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And I'm Madrid. I'm been a Madrid fan for years, since Laurie Cunningham went there.
Oh wow!
Laurie Cunningham.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since Laurie Cunningham went there, and seeing him in that white kit, and that was like, wow, brilliant. So I've liked him since then. So
I'm wearing the wrong colours.
Yeah, listen, never mind. We'll see what happens in El Clasico tomorrow, because it's a massive, massive game. It's Atletico atop, 1 point ahead of Barcelona. Barcelona are 2 points ahead of Real Madrid. So Real Madrid need to win tomorrow, and then Barcelona play Atletico a couple of weeks' time. So it's going to be it's a sprint to the finish.
Oh, Casey, man, I'm sorry to break your heart. That's not going to happen. I think we'll have our Twitter feud tomorrow. We'll go back and forth with each other, I'm guessing. You know what? The best thing I seen, right, was when you did that La Liga show. I can't remember. I remember it was for a Real Madrid. Was it for the El Clasico? For the first time in the El Clasico? Because I remember you being on a show for La Liga.
What, from the stadium?
Yeah. Like pitch side. I think it was for 11 Sport, I believe.
Well, we done pitch side for both derbies, El Clasicos last season. That we done the Camp Nou, which finished 0-0 first, and then the second one, which was at the Santiago Bernabeu, is where Vinicius scored and Mariano scored. Real Madrid won 2-0, and that's what kind of propelled them before lockdown. Propelled them to the league title. So
we don't need to hear about them ones.
I'm just letting you know, mate. I'm just letting you know. It's It's been a big week. Yeah. It's a big week. It's a big week in La Liga. And listen, that little magician, Lionel Messi. I'm telling you, when you watch him every week, he's unplayable. He is the best player in the world. But he's been the best player in the world for a number of years. He's ridiculous. He is ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah. And I can't wait. As I've got you here anyway, what's your sort of score prediction?
What, for El Clasico?
Yeah.
2-1, Real Madrid.
I think we're gonna batter use 4-1. I'm gonna go big. Go big or go home. I want to feel less stressed out about Arsenal.
I hope you have that same energy tomorrow.
No, I'm going into my cave for now, and then.
Hey, we've all got our caves, Sulz. I tell you, we've all got our caves.
Oh no! I've been ripped for a lot of things. But I can't wait for this. If you do lose, Kevin, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be relentless. I'm gonna be.
I don't mind.
For you.
And listen. Let me tell you something. I'm used to it. Because the thing we do on Facebook, I have there's whole nations of that India subcontinent. In India, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Pakistan, they watch it from all over there, right? Real Madrid, love me. Barcelona, hate me. I love it. Honestly, I love it. Bring it on, Sulz.
I can't wait for this one. Obviously, got Albert JTV in the chats. I may as well get your question in whilst you're in the chats there. He also asked a very good question and something I wanted to ask you as well.
Yes, people, it's Albert JTV here. Big up to my bro, Gooner Sulz, and of course, the legend, Kevin Campbell. Kevin, bro, I want to ask you, as a retired professional footballer, what's the one piece of advice you would give to a younger Kevin Campbell who wants to make it into the professional footballing game?
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. That's the easiest one of the lot. The advice I'd give is believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, you got no chance of making it. None whatsoever. So believe in yourself, definitely. But that's in life as well. That's not just in football, that's in life. Believe in yourself, and if you set yourself a goal, believe that you're going to achieve it and go for it.
I mean, I'm a living example of setting goals and achieving them. You know, I said at the start of this, I wanted to get, Kevin Campbell on, the people at Highbury Squad, obviously same old Arsenal, working with Craig, Tanner from BG Media, Jess, and it's happening. It slowly happens, and you've just got to put yourself out there and just hope that things come back. And like Kevin said, man, it's the biggest thing is believing in yourself and conducting yourself in the right ways, especially in modern day, because you'll get loads of people who have been making content and are big in the game.
And criticize.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And yeah, be very self-critical. Yeah. That's
No, I'm saying there's a lot of people who, when you set your goals and you try and achieve them, people will criticize. But when you have that self-belief, use it as the fuel. Use it as the fuel to push forward. That's what you have to do, because people criticize no matter what. If you win, they criticize. If you lose, they criticize. So just get on with it. Just do what you got to do.
100%, yeah. And that's the thing with social media, obviously. You're always going to be put down. And that's the one advice I'll give you. Because obviously, even with the modern world that we're living in, whether you want to be a footballer, whether you want to go work in management in a company, you'll always be on some forms of social media, whether that be LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be. You have to put yourself out in the right way, and you've got to expect that whatever you say, it could be the right thing you're saying. You could be saying facts, like absolute 100% truth, but people will always want to debunk that and criticize what you're saying. So you do have to have a little bit of a tough skin, and you've got to have that self-confidence and self-belief that no matter what happens, I know I can do what I've set out to do. And that's why I love the answer that you gave.
Well, Sulz, this is what I would say, and we discussed the football app, and I've just sent you the link, and I'm going to send you the code. Right? So anybody who wants to get to do what they're doing and get earning, they can.
Jumping on that.
Right? So that's it. You can put it in you could use it whenever you're ready. What I will say is this. There's been a lot of abuse online and all this kind of thing, and we keep hearing teams are having boycotts and all this kind of thing. Just imagine. There's 500,000 people or more already on the football app, and there's not been one case. Because the anti-racism and anti-abuse policy is spot on. And when you got something to lose, Sulz.
Yeah.
When you got money to lose, nobody's taking the chance. This is the problem with these social networks. These social networks, you got nothing to lose. People could set up a fake account and do whatever. But when you're in it, when you're working in an environment and doing what you're doing and earning for it, why would you want to jeopardize that? It makes no sense. Because you're taking money out your own pocket. Nobody does that. And this is the thing. I understand these social media networks have been around a long time. But until these players and institutions, the football clubs, etc., start moving on to something else. Actually, imagine a football club utilizing this. They'll be making their fans make the money, and the fans could spend the money with them.
That's it, and that's this whole.
So the ecosystem just keeps doing that. It's a win-win-win situation. But I keep hearing all the chat, Thierry Henry's come off and all this kind of thing. But there's a lot of players who have been abused and still on it. If you don't change your action, how could you expect a different result?
No, 100%, and that's the thing. Like when you look at the social media sites, I believe it was about 60 to 70% of the user base, especially on Twitter, is anonymous. Hence why they don't want to change their policy, because they'd lose basically their customer base in a sense. And
like they lose the advertising.
And the revenue that they need to make, because what would happen is they'll lose that. That's most of their followers and interactions gone, and then advertisers are going to be like, "Well, there's not really much for us to be on here."
Oh yeah, you haven't got enough for us. The problem is these things should have been in place from the start, but they weren't. Open season, go and do what you want, and now the chickens have come home to roost for them. But will they change? I can't see them changing, because they come out with statements and stuff, but we'll see. But I can't see them changing.
No, same here. And I've got one last question from one of the video call-ins. And obviously I'll get that and then we'll kind of wrap, because I don't want to take too much. I know you're a busy man and I don't know how much more time you can offer. I mean, I could talk to you all day, but if I got my way, I could.
But we can't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We can't.
Hey Kev, it's Sophie here from Gooner Gossip TV. My question I have for you is, what is your proudest moment on and off the pitch?
I've had plenty of proud moments, but I've got to say my proudest moment is seeing my son make his debut for Premier League debut for Stoke versus Leicester. Extremely proud day. I remember my dad telling me how proud he was of me. And you don't really get a sense of it. And, I was in the stand and there he was coming on. Honestly, I just can't describe the feeling of being a dad and your son actually coming on and being a Premier League player. So it was brilliant. And that was my proudest moment. Yeah, definitely.
Now, what's your proudest moment as a player? That's also one I would.
Well, I've had many. My debut for Arsenal, scoring in front of the North Bank, was incredible. But being signed for Arsenal was my proudest moment. Being signed for Arsenal, signing professional forms. Wow, I'm a pro at Arsenal. God, boy from Brixton, Brixton lad, South London boy, come up the hard way. And there I am signing a professional forms for Arsenal. Brilliant.
No, 100, man. I can't. Yeah, that feeling would have been incredible. Because I also remember a bit of my own background where I had the opportunity to play in front of Michael Carrick, Sir Alex Ferguson, and I think it was Rio Carrick on that day, and then Fergie as well. And then on that day, I got a whole stadium tour, and I remember that feeling as a kid. And it was just incredible. Like and this wasn't even me being scouted as a player or anything.
Did you feel pressure?
Do you know what? I kind of did. And then I remember Carrick coming over, because Carrick came over to me and he said, "I can see what you're trying to do. You just need to calm the nerves." Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, you should have said that. That's made me even more nervous now." And then
pressure. That's a bit of pressure.
And you know what the funniest thing is? So I was doing my driving lesson, and I was in his area, and he was going to grab a coffee. And when my driving instructor said, "Oh, just park up," and I didn't realize, and he was walking over, and I pulled my window down, and I go, "Is that Carrick?" And then he looked over, and he goes, "You're that kid, aren't you? That played at this park?" And I was there, and I go, "Wow, you remember that from like 4 years ago?" And that for me was one of the best feelings ever, because I was like, I didn't expect that. And the story of when you followed me, that was an incredible. You want me to tell you what that story was? So what happened was I was
go on.
out shopping, and obviously me and you were going back and forth on Twitter. Obviously with the Highbury squad as well, and then I got a notification come through on my phone in the middle of Tesco's. I was doing a bit of shopping, and this was not one of those, you know, the local Tesco. This was one of the bigger ones, like the extras and all. And I remember I was talking to one of the colleagues and that I know, and notification came through. Goes, Kevin Campbell is now following you. I literally screamed like a little kid in the middle of Tesco's. I just started screaming like a little kid. They were like, "What the hell's happened here? Are you feeling all right?" And I go, I literally just went like that. I showed my phone, and they were like, "Why aren't you screaming louder?"
Oh, that's a nice story, Sulz. That's nice. Listen, it's a pleasure. You know, for me to engage with fans, I can't engage with everybody.
Yeah.
But to engage with fans, I'm an ex-player, but I'm a fan, and I think it's really important to support the likes of yourself. You know, so hence why I'm here.
No, and you don't understand how. I don't know how I've managed to keep a cool. I'll probably go after this video once you're gone, just like, yeah, go a bit crazy.
That's all right.
If you see a streaker getting arrested on the news, yeah, you know who it is.
No, don't be doing that. So don't be doing that. Don't be doing that.
No.
But listen, it's about growing. It's about growth, and you having your vision, and you putting your opinions across, and you getting people on who put their opinions across in a proper way, isn't it? You know, that's the key. And we're not always going to agree. And you know, I don't listen. Even you sit on the Highbury squad, we disagree all the time.
Yeah, the red cards get given out a lot there.
Yeah, you know what I mean. We disagree all the time, but we get it across. We love each other, but we get our points across, and you know, we do what we've got to do, because you might look at something and I look at the same thing, but we look at it different. That's all. That's just the way the world is. No,
100%. And on that basis, I will let Kevin get on with his day. And he lives actually up north, near Manchester as well. So I don't know, we've got good weather to go enjoy.
Weather's lovely. Weather's nice up here too.
Yeah. So I'll let you get on with your day as well. And you don't understand how appreciative I am of my time. You'll probably hate me tomorrow if we do win, but that'll be tomorrow. And then after that, we'll love each other after.
Sulz. If Barcelona win, they deserve it. And you can come at me with anything. It doesn't matter. To me, listen, I like the banter. I don't mind it whatsoever. I just hope you can take it if you lose.
Oh, mate. Like I said, I got my cave ready, innit?
Well, listen, you still have your phone in your cave, mate. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one. Teenagers, right? Like, young millennials, mate. We can't live without our phones. No, so I'll definitely... Well, no, thank you very much, Kevin. Any last words? Any wrap-ups from yourself?
My wrap-up is, you know, listen, the club do take us on the roller coaster, but we love the club. And for me, it's about allowing the club to make the right changes that they have to do in order for us to get consistent, because we haven't been consistent for the years. So whether you're Arteta in, Arteta out, you're not convinced or whatever, the club are going to do what they feel is right to be more consistent, because that's the only way they can do it. Because, you know, it's been going, we've been standing still for too many years, and now it has to change. So that's all I've got to say.
Obviously, we have the brilliant, the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Campbell on If You Don't Know, Get to Know. A lot of advice from take it with a pinch of salt from myself with the financial advice. And obviously we talked about the life of Kevin Campbell, getting to know him a little bit better as a person. If you did enjoy it, obviously hit the subscribe button, like. And this was where I tell people to follow you, but if you don't know who Kevin Campbell is, how the hell did you come across me? Is how I'm going to say. And thank you very much for tuning in.
Sulz, whether they follow me or not, as long as they support Arsenal, they're good by me.
Yeah, that's why I've got you on, because you didn't go to Spurs, so that's why you've gotten a pass to come on. Otherwise, yeah, like Sophie and Amanda do, you get the red card from me. But thank you very much.
No reds here. No reds here.
But thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. The engagement's been incredible. Obviously, the football app I will put in the description once I'm done with the video, and to check that out. A lot of good responses from people already. So thank you for that one. And this is going to be Gooner Sulz